Hi all! So this little mini-series we've been doing is all in support of BwydMôrCymru, Welsh seafood. BwydMôrCymru is all about supporting local Welsh fishermen. Very serious about sourcing quality produce, very sustainably and very tasty. So in our little mini-series, the next video is all about the lobster stock. We've got all those leftover shells, which we want to make the most of, but we're not going to throw them away. They are full of flavour. So, what do we do with them? Me personally, I always turn them into a stock. It's a great starter. I reduce it down to make a pasta sauce or to make a nice little lobster bisque, a nice little soup. It's endless what you can do with them, and it is beautiful. I'm going to start off a little bit of olive oil, let that come to heat. So we're going to whack in our lobster shells, get them all in there, lid on, not too hot, and in the meantime crack on with our veg, get some onions, I'm going to peel them. These can be roughly cut. I've left the skin on the carrots, it's only going into the stock, it's not really for presentation. The more veg and the more shells and that you can cram into your pot, the more intense and concentrated the flavour is going to be. A little bit of fennel, touch more olive oil, the veg in. So we've got some lemongrass, we've got some spices. I like a little bit of heat in mine, so I'm going to put a bit of chilli. Just going to chop the chilli into two. I'm going to bash the lemongrass up. Good little pinch of bay leaf, fresh from the garden. Crush these garlic cloves up. I've already peeled them because I'm lazy. Whatever flavours you like, get it in your stock. I'm going to go 1 star anise, 2 cloves, nice little pinch of peppercorn, and then plenty of fennel seeds. Goes so beautifully with any shellfish. We've got our tomato puree. We've got 2 tablespoons of this in. Sprigs of thyme. Again, we give that a good mix. Just going to cook this out now for about 5 minutes, just to cook out the tomato puree, and it's almost just going to caramelise a little bit to the base of the pan so we can deglaze it with the alcohol, add another level of flavour into the stock. Add our tomatoes, and we're going to go with some brandy and sambuca, about 50 ml of each. Again, we want to cook this out. So using that liquid we just put in, we're just going to almost clean the pan with our spoon, deglazing all that natural caramelisation on the bottom. That is all flavour, what we want to get back into our sauce. Put some of our coriander roots in. Good glug of white wine. Ooh, love a good crack. About 200 ml. Going to bring that up to the boil. And then we've got an orange zest. Put that in. I like to zest it in, I like to grate it in because I don't want to get any of the white in there because it goes bitter. Then we're just going to juice the citrus fruits in. We've got all our citrus fruit in there. We're going to give that a good mix. It's come to the boil. So I'm just adding water now just to fill the pan right up. It's also good if you want to add some chicken stock, some fish stock, anything like that which is going to intensify it. Water's fine. I'm going to bring it to the boil and let it simmer for about an hour and a half. And in the meantime, we'll have a quick clean up. That's right, you need to strain the stock. At home, that's perfect. If you're in a commercial kitchen, you can blend all this up and pass it off. But don't do that at home, it can be too hot. So that's it, got our lovely stock. So with this, you can whack it in your fridge once it's cooled down, or put it in the freezer for a later date. I'm going to show you how to make the most beautiful lobster spaghetti that you guys can do because you now know how to dress a lobster and you also know how to make a most beautiful lobster stock. So clean up, let's crack on. So guys, we've done our lobster stock, we've dressed our lobsters, as you can see there. You all know how to do that now because I've shown you. I'm going to show you how to knock up a very simple lobster dish. So first, we're going to have a 1/4 of an onion, get that nice and finely diced. So we're going to use the full fennel, get that diced as well to the same size as the onion. Just going to get that going in the pan with a touch of olive oil. Just sweat it off in the pan. Onions first. Fennel. Good pinch of salt. And give them a little stir. Get ourselves a little bit of butter. About 50 grams. Want this nice and rich. And throw that in. So it's just enough heat just to cook out the fennel and the onions. We get 2 cloves of garlic. We slice that up. Same way as the onion. Pinch of salt into our garlic, run your knife across it, and whack it straight in. You always put your garlic in after the onions because garlic is more inclined to burn. You're going to sweat it down and add a good glug of white wine and reduce it. So we're going to reduce that white wine by 2/3 and we're going to add in that beautiful lobster stock. we want to reduce that right down to really intensify the lobster stock. We'll give that a little taste now. Naughty. Tiny bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Be careful when you season them, because as that reduces, it's going to intensify not just the lobster flavour but also the salt and that which is already in there. We're going to add a little bit more stock in there, then reduce that down again. And whilst that's reducing, we're going to get our spaghetti on. We've got enough spaghetti here for about 2 people or 1 greedy person. So that's going to go into a rolling pan of water. There's salt in there and it's going to take about 7 or 8 minutes. It's boiling nicely. The sauce is reducing nicely. I'm going to put a little bit of cream through there. Chop up this lobster, chop these spring onions up and some coriander, and then we're good to go. And there we have it, time to serve. And there we have it, Welsh lobster, beautiful spaghetti dish. So easy to recreate at home. Enjoy.